Welcome everyone and good morning. So as always, anything that you feel like you need to support your practice this morning, if that is a blanket for padding underneath the knees, if that are blocks, or you can use pillows and even blankets for underneath the hands, feel free to have that near you, and I'll give suggestions about where you can add it, but just really listen to what your body needs this morning. So we'll start seated. I'm just scooting myself back here. We'll start seated, and you can sit on something if you want to elevate the hips a little bit. Sit on a pillow or a blanket. And as you start to come into that seated position, just start to, if you need to move around a little bit, just start to check in and tune in with your body. And as you start to release and move and kind of wiggle out whatever you need to wiggle this morning, maybe start to find some stillness. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Your legs can be in any comfortable position. If they're not comfortable crossed, feel free to do something else with them. Relax the jaw. Relax the muscles of the face. Just begin to notice your breath. Feeling the breath move in and out of your body. And even just by bringing awareness to your breath, you might feel that it is able to get a little bit longer. Allow the breath to help soften the body into this seated position. Taking a couple more full rounds of breath here. It's really bringing ourselves into our practice today. Finding one more powerful breath here. Allow your hands to come to the legs. So maybe they find the tops of the knees or the thighs. And we'll start to move through some seated cat-cows. So round the spine, feel your belly button hug into your spine. Drop your chin to your chest. Like you're trying to spread every part of your back a little bit apart to breathe. And then start to open your heart, look forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. This time feeling like you're trying to open every part of the front of your torso. And at first, really exaggerating these moves. So moving nice and slow. Coming back to that cat. And then start to come into that cow. Open the heart forward, really exaggerate. So instead of when you get there, just kind of moving to the next thing, see if you can go a little bit further. And then come back to your cat, going as far as you can, and then maybe even a little bit more. Moving at your own pace here. Just one more round. Use your breath to move you, to guide you. And start to come back to center. And let's reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Stretch it tall and long. And release them down. Inhale to reach the arms up. And exhale to let it go. Inhale to reach the arms up. And exhale to let it go. Inhale, reach the arms up. But this time, just let the left hand come down and stretch through the right side of your body. So you can keep the arm up overhead. If it's not comfortable for your shoulder, maybe just let the arm hang by your side or a little bit behind your back. Looking more for stretching the right side of the body. Bring your head and neck wherever it's comfortable. And then as you inhale, come all the way back up, reach the arms up, and we'll go over to the other side, right hand down, left arm reaching up and over. Again, you can always move the arm and not have it overhead. Sometimes my shoulder doesn't want to go this way, so I bring it to the side, and sometimes it's okay. And then come all the way back to center, reach both arms up, but this time we're going to twist to the left. So bring both hands towards the ground, towards the left side. Perhaps that left hand becomes a kickstand behind you. Right hand towards the right leg. And keep lengthening the spine as you rotate the heart open. Maybe your gaze comes over your left shoulder if it feels okay, or just keep the head neutral. And on your next inhale, you'll come all the way back up to center, reach the arms up, feel a stretch through both sides, and then take the twist the other way, turning to the right. Your right hand is your kickstand. As you inhale, feel the spine lengthen. And as you exhale, feel the heart open. Just one more breath. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then release the arms down. Let's roll those shoulders. You can be really exaggerated with it, or you can be really subtle. And just go the other way. All right, so we'll come out of our seated position. So go ahead and make your way onto your hands and your knees. So now's a great time to add a prop if the ground below you is hard. You can throw a blanket or a towel underneath the knees. And start to set yourself up really strong in that tabletop position. Feel like you're pressing the floor away. Almost feel like a little lift through the belly button, hugging your belly button into your spine. And just like we did seated, we'll take some cat-cows here. So it'll probably feel a little different. Let's start to drop the belly, look forward. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze together. Again, we're gonna exaggerate it a little bit, at least for the first couple rounds. And then start to round the spine. Press the floor away. Feel the shoulder blades press apart. And as you inhale, drop your belly, look forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then around the spine, press the floor away. And you can keep moving at this pace if it's feeling really good in your body this morning, or maybe you start to go a little bit faster, but faster is still matching your breath. So as you exhale, you round. And as you inhale, you look forward. Just allowing your breath to match your movement. And we'll take one more round. I was going to be between 1 and 2, but I think 1's good. We'll start to come into a neutral tabletop position. And we're all going to drop onto our forearms. So when you first drop onto your forearms, it might feel good to roll out the wrists a little bit, wiggle the fingers. So a lot of times when we want to just drop onto our forearms automatically, we already kind of come into this little bit of a back bend. But I want you to focus on keeping the core engaged and strong. So I'm really focusing on that hugging in of my belly. And then you'll just start to extend your right leg behind you. Keep the toes curled under, almost like we're going to come into a forearm plank, but we're not, I promise. Not a trick. And just start to press the heel back. You may feel sensation through the calf. You may not. And then just start to come back towards that center for you. So just not pushing the heel back. And start to float your right foot off of the floor. So it doesn't matter how high it floats. Really strong through the whole back of the leg. Feel the forearms press down. Feel the left knee and shin press down. And just start to bend the knee so the sole of the foot reaches up to the sky. Holding steady is much harder than moving. Just one more breath. Extend the leg and then bring the knee down. And start to step your left leg back. Press back through your heel. Find your way back towards the center and then let the left foot float up off of the floor. And remember, it doesn't matter how high it floats, just that you're focusing on really engaging the muscles, really engaging your breath. And then just start to bend the knee so the sole of the foot reaches up to the sky. So just changing the muscles that are activating here, which you may or may not notice. Just one more breath. Extend the leg, release the knee down. Take your knees a little wide and press your hips back towards a child's pose. If child's pose is not a comfortable place to pause, take something else. Listen to your body. Child's pose is not necessarily comfortable for everyone, and it might not be comfortable for you every day. Let's just take 2 more breaths here. Full inhales and full exhales. And if you're looking at me, you can release that child's pose all the way down. I'm just keeping myself popped up a little bit so you can hear me. Last breath. Start to bring yourself back to a tabletop position, this time on your hands. Curl your toes under and start to press your hips up and back into a downward dog. So when you first get to your downward dog, take anything you need. I like to pedal out the feet, stake out the hips. If being in that inverted position, meaning your heart is above your head, is not comfortable for your body this morning, you can stay in a tabletop position, and it's your choice if you want to stay on your palms or move to your forearms. Just a couple more breaths wherever you're at, just kind of shaking it out, moving around. And start to walk your feet all the way up to your hands. So at a certain point, you probably will get stuck. The feet can't walk any further. So then just walk your hands back to your feet. So coming into a forward fold here. Again, that same inversion rule applies here. If that's not comfortable, you can kind of stay in more of a halfway lift, or you can even just come right to standing and we'll meet you there. So wherever you're at, just kind of, again, focus on bending the knees a little bit. And let's all come into a halfway lift. Bring your hands to your shins and reach the crown of the head forward. Keep hugging in through the belly. And fold all the way back in. And start to press into your feet. Rise all the way up to stand. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And bring your hands to your heart center. Find a nice, strong rooting through the feet. Just taking a moment here. One more breath. And begin to reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Stretch it really tall. And exhale, you'll fold all the way forward, hinging at your hips. Again, you may pause in that halfway, or you may come all the way so you can release the head and the neck. Yogi's choice. Listen to your body. Everyone find that halfway lift. Hands to your shins. And then bring your hands to the ground and step back to your plank pose. You can always lower your knees in plank. We're only going to be here for about 12 hours or so. You should definitely have giggled at that because I can't count that high. And I wouldn't want to hold plank for that long. And take one more breath. And lower all the way on to your belly. As you come into your belly, you can make a pillow with the hands. Maybe rock the hips a little bit. Up onto our forearms. So instead of coming into a baby cobra, which if you've taken classes with me before, that's often where we'll go here. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So I'm on my forearms and my elbows are about underneath my shoulders. but you can always be a little bit forward of your shoulders. I'm focusing on opening my heart towards the front of my mat. And to help relieve any maybe pressure I might feel in my lower back, I want to feel my pelvic bone root towards the floor. So it's almost like I'm going in towards a little pelvic tilt. Just one more breath here. Then you'll lower all the way down. And then we'll walk our hands right by our rib cage. Roll the shoulder heads back. So it's that same action as our Sphinx pose. And just start to lift the head and the heart. And you probably won't go as high as we did in Sphinx, just because we have a little less support. But keep feeling that sensation through the rest of the body. Feel that gentle pelvic tilt. Really press the shoelace part of your feet down. And release the forehead to the floor. Inhale into a baby cobra, reach the heart forward. And release the forehead down. One more, inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, release it down. Press yourself all the way up and back through your tabletop on your way to your down dog. Take a moment when you get to your down dog. And start to step your right foot forward, just your right foot. So if it doesn't get all the way there, you can kind of just hop it there. And we're going to drop our back knee to the ground. So remember to slide a blanket under there if you want a little extra padding. And right away, you'll just start to bring your whole upper body up. So you can allow your hands to rest on your right thigh to start. And feel like you're trying to sink the hips forward, but really pressing down through the right foot and the back leg to help steady you and support you. Maybe your hands stay on your thigh, or you can bring your hands to your hips. If it feels okay, you can reach your arms up to the sky. And then allow the right hand to drop towards the right side. And it can dangle, or you can bring your hand to your hip and reach the left arm up and over, coming into that side body stretch. So again, you can keep the arm up next to the ear, or you can bring it by your side and maybe gently wrap it around your back. It's going to change your balance a little bit. Take one more breath. Come all the way back up, reach both arms up and bring the hands to the floor. Curl the back toes under so you can press the back leg away from the floor. And spin the back heel to the ground. So we're moving into our warrior two. So press into the feet and windmill open the arms into your warrior two. That's good. Turn around. So your right knee is bent as much as you can. Reach in through the fingertips. And start to straighten your right leg and reach your right arm all the way up to the sky. Really feel the right side body stretching and releasing here. Bring your arms back into a T. Turn all 10 toes to the side of your mat. and hinge at your hips and start to come forward. So again, you can pause at that halfway lift. You also could stay upright, or you can come all the way down. Maybe your hands come to the ground. Maybe they reach for the feet. Feel your whole upper body release. You don't even have to stay completely still. Maybe you have a little rock of the hips forward and back. Just one more breath here. And nice and slow, you'll press into the feet and come all the way back up to stand. Turn your right toes back to the front of your mat. Turn your left toes to the front of your mat. Bend into your right knee. Arms reach for the sky. So your back heel is lifted. We're in a high lunge now. And maybe feel those hips sink lower. One more breath. Look forward and step all the way forward, bringing your left foot to meet your right. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And bring your hands to your heart center. So really feel your feet rooted into the ground. And maybe even start to rock a little bit from side to side. Your hands can be wherever's comfortable. They can stay at your heart center. They can be on your hips. And as you're rocking the weight from side to side, let that weight rock to the right foot. Get really light on the left foot and even let the left toes start to lift up off of the ground, like you're gonna kick something behind you. And start to flex your left foot so it's really active through the back of the leg. You can always move to, closer to a wall or a chair for a little added support in our balance. Try to find something in front of you that's not moving that can be your focal point. And maybe you start to bend the knee even more, like you're trying to kick your heel all the way to your butt. Really strong activation. We're really just using our muscles here. And last piece, maybe you reach your hand for your foot or your pants is also perfect. And then almost feel like you're trying to relax the leg a little bit and just focusing on the balance. So every time you add something or take something away or change what you're engaging, it's going to feel like a completely different shape. Just one more breath. I know we've been here in our one-legged move for a bit. And then gently release and let it all go. Let's reach the arms all the way up to the sky, stretch it nice and tall. And fold all the way forward, hinging at the hips. Come towards that halfway lift. And then bring the hands to the floor, step back to your plank pose. Lower all the way onto your belly. And come back to that Sphinx pose. So coming onto your forearms. Feel your heart open. Feel that gentle pelvic tilt. And if that isn't resonating with you, the gentle pelvic tilt, almost feel like you're trying to lift your belly button away from the floor. It's not actually going to go anywhere. And start to bend your left leg here. So just like we did when we were standing a moment ago. And here I want you to really focus on pressing the left knee towards the back of your mat, almost like you're trying to lengthen the front of your thigh. And you can flex or point the foot. I'll leave that up to you for this one. You're welcome to stay here, or I like to kickstand my right arm and bring my left hand around for the foot. And again, maybe it's the foot, maybe you're holding on to your pants, maybe you're just reaching and giving it a wave. And you can keep that upper body into more of that Sphinx pose. If there's too much of a back bend for you today, just let the upper body come down. And sometimes you don't know what you need until you try both, so don't be afraid to play a little bit. Just one more breath. And gently release the leg, lower the whole upper body down. Bring your hands by your rib cage. Come into a baby cobra, just a really small part lift here. And press yourself up and back to your downward dog. Step your left foot forward. Allow the back knee to come down. Take a few moments to set yourself up. Then throw a blanket underneath the knee for padding. Forget what happened on the other side, and also forget where we're going. I know where we're going, so I'll tell you. But just try to find yourself settling into the sensations of the shape we're in now. Feeling the hips press forward. You can always bring your hands to your hips. Maybe even start to reach the arms up to the sky. And allow your left hand to come by your side. So again, it can dangle, or you can let your left hand rest on your hip and stretch and reach through the right side of your body. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. Come all the way back up to center. Bring your hands to the ground. Curl your back toes under so you can press your back knee away from the floor. Spin your back heel to the ground. And we'll move into our warrior two with that left knee forward. I'm just turning around so you can see me. Really strong rooting through the feet. Reach through the fingertips. Use your breath to hold you just for one more. Straighten your front leg and reach the left arm all the way up and over. Head and neck can be wherever's comfortable. Come all the way back to the center. Turn all 10 toes to the side of your mat and start to hinge at the hips and start to come forward. So that forward can be as far as you want to go. It can be upright. It doesn't matter what you did on the other side because this is a two-sided pose. So if you need something different, take something different. Just a few breaths. Last breath wherever you are at. And start to bring yourself all the way up. Turn your left toes back to the front of the mat. Turn your right toes towards the front of your mat and start to lift your heel. Bend deeply into your left knee as much as you can. Keep looking forward and step that right foot to meet your left. It doesn't matter how many steps it takes to get there either. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And bring your hands to your heart center. So we're going to move into that balance on the other side. So if you know you want to bring yourself towards a little extra support, even if just having it there makes you feel more steady, whether you want to use it or not, that's perfect. So before we start, we'll just kind of rock the weight from side to side. So just feeling the weight shifting from your right to your left. And then keep shifting towards the left and pause. And start to get really light on your right foot. So much so that it starts to float up off of the ground and kick behind you. Flexing into the foot. And keep feeling like you're trying to squeeze the heel as close to your booty as possible. Maybe you're just staying here with this really powerful active balance. Or if you'd like to play a little bit more, you can bring your right hand towards your right foot or even just your hands. If you're just wearing shorts, that might be a little bit harder, but you can do it. And if you take a hold of the foot or the leg in some way, even start to feel like you're trying to relax the leg a little bit. And it might feel as though that left leg is now working much harder than the right. Yeah, and your sides are totally different. So if you wiggle and fall out, come back in. I'm holding onto the bookshelf behind me. This side doesn't like to balance. Take one more breath. And gently release and let it all go. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky and fold all the way forward. Come into a halfway lift. Always taking your modifications, whatever your body needs, and you'll plant your hands and step back to your plank pose as you lower all the way onto your belly. So right from your belly, you're going to come into that Sphinx pose. So propping yourself up onto your forearms. And start to bend the right leg. Feel like you're trying to press the right knee towards the back of your mat. And then you have the option to stay here or reach your right hand towards the foot or the pant or just wave at the foot. And you can stay in more of a back bend through the upper back or let it go and just focus more on the stretch. And back bends could also feel like you're stretching a lot. Just really deciding what feels good in your body today. And gently release, let it all go. Rock the hips. And because we're already on our belly here, just start to slide your right knee out to the side. So the inside of the leg is towards the ground. If you want a little bit more, you can feel like you're trying to press the knee away from the body. If you want a little bit less, feel like you're trying to bring the knee into the body, and you can almost even feel like you're rolling a little bit towards the left side. Leave the upper body nice and heavy on the ground as we come into this half frog stretch. Just one more breath here. Start to slide your right leg back to meet your left. And we'll come into the other side. So bring your left knee out to the side. And again, if you want more sensation, you'll feel like you're pressing the knee away from you. If you want less sensation, feel like you're hugging the knee into the body and maybe even finding just a gentle shift towards your right side. And again, your upper body is really heavy. I'm just keeping myself lifted so you can hear me speak. Really trying to take all of the effort out of creating this shape. Couple more breaths here. And start to slide your left leg back to meet your right. Rock out the hips. Press yourself up and back through your table. If it feels like good, it might be nice to just come into a final down dog. Really stretch and release. And we'll start to make our way onto our back. So if you pause in downward dog or wanted to hang out for a second in tabletop and find some cats and cows, you are welcome to stay there and move. Always listen to your body over listening to me. That's my advice. But whenever you do make it onto your back eventually, you can hug your knees into your chest. Maybe rock the hips a little bit, feel a little massage on the low back. And begin to just plant your feet onto the floor. And cross your right ankle on top of your left knee. So we're coming into our figure 4 here. You might come into this with the left foot on the ground and be like, this is perfect. This is exactly where I want to stay today. I just want to relax my arms. And you can stay here. Or you can start to hug that figure 4 into the chest and hugging your left knee in with your hands. If you want somewhere in the middle of those two and you have a pillow or a blanket, an easy reach, you can even just slide it underneath your left foot and it just gives you a little bit more elevation, but not any effort, which is really nice. So don't think too hard. Maybe play if you're not sure where you want to be and see what feels good. This part of our practice is really about trying to create less effort. So use that to help you decide where you want to be this morning. Just finding your last breath here. Start to release your figure 4. Uncross your legs. Come into the other side, crossing your left ankle on top of your right knee. You may stay with the foot on the ground. You may hug the figure 4 in, or somewhere in the middle, sliding something underneath your right foot. Don't worry about what you did on the other side if this side is feeling like it wants to stay someplace different. Our sides often need different types of the same stretches. Couple more breaths. Excuse me. Final breath here. Release the figure 4. Uncross your legs. Shake it out, rinse it out. Hug your knees into your chest and just let the knees drop over to the right. So keeping the shoulders on the ground, just coming into a spinal twist, and that spinal twist can look however you want it to look. So the knees can be bent and stacked. You can cross one leg over the other. Just think of your intention as just rinsing out the spine one last time. So whatever that looks like today. Just a couple of breaths. Come all the way back to the center and take that twist to the other way. Whatever that twist was. Last breath wherever you're at. And bring yourself all the way back to the middle. Squeeze the knees in nice and tight. Any final movements that your body's craving this morning? Maybe it's just a rock or even a happy baby. And start to make your way into your final Shavasana. So that might be just extending the legs out in front of you. That might be extending the legs out in front of you, but sliding something underneath the legs. It might be throwing your legs up on a wall or a couch or a chair. If staying on your back does not feel like a comfortable place to release, you can always come on to your side and find that fetal position. Finding a place, where your body can release and spend in gratitude for your practice. Shavasana. Starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. rolling out wrists and ankles. Beginning to stretch your arms up overhead and making your way onto your side. Using the strength of your arms to press yourself up, coming into a comfortable seat and keeping your focus inside. Bringing your hands to your heart center, gently bow your head. Thank yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.